Everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Channel. Your host Superman in the house. Hope you all are doing well out there. Do things feel like they're turning around a little bit there? I think they do, and we're going to get into a lot of that later on. So stay tuned. We're going to get into the Pulsechain updates from Richard Hart. Look forward to it. Now, obviously, get into the chat. Say hello. We love people getting involved. If you've heard any alpha, let us know in the chat. We'll evaluate that too. Let's get in house. We've got Sarah G. Hey, Sarah. Hello, Hexkins. Good to see you, Sarah G. And we got Wookie as well. Wookie says hi. Good to see you, Wookie. JB in the house. Evening all. Hit the likes on the way in. Definitely smash the likes. Hit the subscribe button. And, of course, hit the bell for future videos. Now, if you do want to get into our Discord after the live stream, jump in there. The Discord link is in the chat there. Wookie's posted that. So big shout out. And it's also at the top of the video description. So get into there. Katie is in the house as well. Hey, all. Good to see you, Katie. Bloodfish King has arrived. Good to see you, Bloodfish King. Happy Australia Day. Actually, it is Australia Day today, so happy Australia Day to people in Australia. And very exciting, very exciting. Ted Nelson, hey, everybody from Ted. Always a pleasure. Price prediction says, was it Fubu Charlotte? That's a tough name there. Price predictions. What else do we got? Catcharoo Day. Hey, Wookie, Catcharoo. Who else we got there? And is that the... I'm not sure what's going on there with your comments there, full bird there. What the heck? All right, so don't FUD the chat there, full bird. I'm not sure what you're trying to do there. We got Bloodfish King in house as well. I say sizable minority of Australians hate this day. I'm starting to feel I don't belong here anymore, says Bloodfish King. I'm sure it's going to be a great day. Australia Day, a proud day for Australians, that's for sure. And, of course, you can forget the progressive left. They hate everything and everybody. So just don't worry about them. Christian's in the house there. What's good, familiar? Good to see you, Christian, as well. Big shout out. Let's get into it, folks. The stock market. Then we're into the crypto. Then we're going to jump over to the crypto news. And we're going to get into, obviously, Hex chart. And then when we get to Hex chart, we're going to talk about Pulsechain updates from Richard Hart, which are very encouraging indeed. Very encouraging indeed. Then we're going to jump over to Hedron, Icosa, and, of course, wrap up with some Pulsechain project update. And also then finally wrap up with the Hex daily stats as well. So lots in store for today's live stream. As you know, we're going to have a bit of fun here. So the S&P 500 off the lows as Microsoft cuts losses, but Alphabet weighs. And, of course, let's check out the results for the indices for the stock market. The Dow Jones Industrials, this has the top 30 industrials in it. And, of course, that is pretty much flat today, slightly positive at 10 points, and is sitting at 33,743. So yesterday and today, kind of just kind of that flat thing going on there. And the S&P 500 is also pretty flat there also, and that's at 4,016. NASDAQ is down 0.2%, 21 points down to 11,313. And remember, the NASDAQ has all the tech companies in it. The dollar index there is down 0.25%, down to 101.4 versus its trading partners. Let's jump over to the commodities, see how they're getting on. We've got slight increases in Brent oil there, up 11 cents to $86.24. And West Texas oil there, up 29 cents to $80.42. Gold is up just slightly as well, $1.65 to $1,948 for gold. And silver there is up 5 cents at $24.08 for silver there. So those are our commodities and indices. Let's get into some of the commentary. The S&P 500 moved off lows Wednesday as investors weighed up a slump in Alphabet against a rebound in Microsoft, despite the latest mixed quarterly results and underwhelming outlook on growth ahead. So not a great day for the tech stocks there. Microsoft Corporation recovered intraday losses to trade flat after reporting quarter results that bet on the top line, led by surprise strength in its cloud business that continues to do well. They say surprise, but it seems to always seem to come in for the day, doesn't it? Though revenue missed estimates and the company flagged a weaker outlook ahead. Some on Wall Street, however, believe Microsoft cloud growth could re-accelerate sooner than expected, and the firm's recent efforts to cut costs will begin to boost growth as soon as the fiscal fourth quarter. Microsoft's expense efficiencies, meanwhile, will start to bear fruit in Q4 with continued tailwinds into the financial year for 24. We believe earnings and revenue growth could have troughed in the full second there. I'm not sure what they're trying to put there. Second quarter of 23. Then we got followed by stability and potentially re-accelerated towards the end of calendar year 23, which is why we affirm our buy rating and a $315 price from the looks of it from Goldman Sachs. Alphabet, however, added to losses from a day earlier, falling 3% after the tech giant cut 1,800 jobs in California on Wednesday. Semiconductors, more Democrats out of jobs. All right, so jokes aside. Semiconductor stocks, meanwhile, were kept in the red by a 1% fall in chip bellwether Texas Instruments Corporation after the chip maker missed its quarterly revenue estimates and guidance on early earnings fell short of analyst estimates there for semiconductors. TXN confirmed that all segments were weak in fourth quarter, and were expected to weaken further in first quarter there as customers reduce inventory, and potential incremental margin headwinds keep us on the sidelines as we wait more detail from next week's call. Boeing, however, so moving to the airlines, a major Dow component cut losses on a trade to trade cut losses to trade nearly 1% higher, even as aircraft maker reported a surprise loss, though it said that the underlying demand remains strong for the airline maker there. And of course, financials were also a source of support for the broader market, moved off session lows as sentiment on regional banks was boosted by a surge in US Bancorp on better than expected fourth quarter earnings. Capital One Financial Corporation was also in the ascendancy, up more than 7%, trading off quarterly results that fell short of the Wall Street estimates. And of course, another earnings news, the AT&T giant delivered quarterly results that bet on the bottom line as the telecommunications company racked up more wireless subscribers than expected in the fourth quarter. And of course, another news, media tycoon Rupert Murdoch withdrew a proposal to merge Fox Corp and News Corp, sending both shares 4% and a 2% higher, respectively. So that's pretty much the stock market news. Let's jump over to crypto. And crypto is doing great. It's great to be in crypto. Forget the stock market when you got crypto, right? That's kind of the best performing markets. And of course, BTC up 2.29%, 23,164. We don't have to worry about the top and the bottom lines so much for most of crypto. So it really is a different class on its own. BTC up 23,164, and of course 2.2%. The ETH rebounded as well from yesterday, and that is up 2% at $1,596. BNB is at $307, up 1.36%. Let's have a look at some of the standouts here. Let's just change the screen a little bit here. Solana there is up 6% to $24.46. So it's back up at that level again. Just having a look at some of these others here. We've got Maddox pretty much in line with the ETH movement. We've got Aave there is up 6% to $85.60. So not too bad there for Aave. A few other performers performing well. Stable coins are still stable. Have a look around here. That's pretty much the highlight. So kind of cool there. Let's have a look at ADA. ADA is up 3% at 37 cents as well. So there is the market looking good for crypto. However, the gas fees have been pretty high. The gas fees have been high. I've seen them at 30.40 Gwei at the moment, and of course here they are at 32. That means a swap on Uniswap is about $9.50, give or take. Obviously, you get it slightly lower than that, but that is the indication. And so that is where we're at the moment. What's the transfer at the moment? Do we have transfers on here? I think we have the basic transfer. Yeah, here it is. Here, $1. About $1 transfer at the moment on Ethereum. So the gas is on the higher side at the moment. Let's jump over when we've got high gas, typically over about 16 Gwei. We get lots of burning going on the ETH chain and deflationary, right? And of course, Pulsechain will be forking the ETH chain. So have a similar tokenomics, give or take. Obviously, here we've got the burn at 3,708 Ethereum has now been net burnt since the launch of the Ethereum Serum Proof of Stake network back here on the 16th of September here. And or 15th of September, and here we are down 3,709 ETH there. So that's kind of cool. Current supply ETH 517,000 ETH currently is the current supply there. So it's kind of cool. Burn, very, very nice. Look at that, cool. Looking over there, let's have a look at the gwei at the moment. So over the last day, minimum has been 11.4 gwei, and maximum has been 136 gwei, and the average sitting in here, I guess, between 16 and 19 gwei on the average there. So that is kind of where we're sitting. We can see over the last second part of the day, it has rocketed up. Look at that, rocket up there on Thursday. Look at it, was down quite low, 12, 13, 14 for quite a while in here in the first part of the day. In the second half of the day here in the last day time frame has really rocketed up there, and of course you can see that big blip up the top there where it got super high, 136. On a 7-day time frame, minimum has been 10.9, max has been 408 gwei. Hecken, Doogie Hauser, whatever, Doogie Hauser, 16.5 gwei to 18 gwei over the last week's been pretty average. That's kind of where we are there. You can sort of see the blips there, the blues below the line. That's kind of cool. The orange is very expensive gwei there, but nice for the burning, right? Nice for the burning. Let's jump over to the crypto news. Of course, Tesla has been in the news here about their Bitcoin, of course, and the revelation there, Tesla did not buy or sell any Bitcoin in the fourth quarter. So Tesla did not buy or sell any Bitcoin in the fourth quarter. The company reported a $34 million in impairment charges to its Bitcoin holdings, however, and that was kind of the news there. Electric car maker Tesla did not buy or sell any Bitcoin in the fourth quarter. For the second straight quarter, the company reported Wednesday in its latest earnings report. The value of its digital assets at the end of the quarter was 184 million, down from 218 million at the end of the third quarter, due to impairment charges from a decline in Bitcoin's price. At the end of the third quarter, the price of a Bitcoin was slightly under $20,000, while at the end of the fourth quarter, it was around $16,500. Tesla also made no changes to its Bitcoin holdings in the third quarter, but in the second quarter, the company surprised some investors by selling 936 million worth of Bitcoin, or approximately 75% of its total holdings, in order to raise cash due to uncertainty over the C-19 lockdowns in China. But of course, CEO Elon Musk said at the time the company was open to increasing its Bitcoin exposure in the future, and that the sale should not be taken as some verdict on Bitcoin. Whoa. Overall, the fourth quarter, Tesla reported adjusted earnings of about $1.19, ahead of the consensus of analyst estimates. Reported a fact set of about $1.13 a share on revenue of $24.3 billion, below analyst estimates of $224.7 billion. Shares of Tesla were down 0.3% to $143 in after-hours volume trading. So that is some of the interesting stuff there from the crypto market. I know that DCG has also decided to put off some workers as well. So DCG is on our radar, of course, having issues fallout from FTX. So along with Genesis and Gemini. So we keeping track of that. So maybe early sign there of the toughness ahead. So that is pretty much that. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin price chart. Obviously, we've got two bullish things here on the price chart here. Bitcoin broke through the 200-day moving average here, the green line, and that's very bullish. And then, of course, if we look down from the top of the Bitcoin price, when we're back up towards close to 70,000, it has broken out of that resistance as well. And here it is consolidating at the moment. In particular today, it's had a nice little rally, and of course got to a high of $23,824 today. Very impressive move here at the moment, and nice little consolidation. We're going to get a little consolidation, another move higher. Obviously, that is possibly in the game there. Obviously, possibly getting to 25.5, something like that. And then, of course, trying to tackle back up here at the $30,000 mark will be pretty interesting. Now, will it get rejected there? And will this be a blimp in the history? And we can sort of get two moves up and then rejected down. Still in for the 11K and pray. Obviously, coming up here on the 1st of February. So if we go to the 1st of February, that is the day here. 1st of February, right where the mouse cursor is, we got the Fed interest rate coming out there on the 1st of Feb. Now, will it be 25 basis points? And will the outlook be will be not so hawkish? That's what the market will be looking for, potentially to continue the rally. May have a little dip on the day, but that's kind of the better outcome that the market will be looking for. 50 basis points, man, you could see markets tanking that day, and that will probably affect the crypto as well, and down we will go. So just remember that we don't want 50 basis points, and we don't want such a hawkish outlook. We want to get a bit more dovish there. So that's what we got coming up on the first there. So a little nervousness around that. that is pretty much the crypto market. Let's jump over to Hex, of course. Hex having a big push higher. Woohoo! Rock on, a Hex token channel pump. We deliver, we aim to deliver on this channel. Okay, jokes aside, it is pumped though, and on the way up there. Is that cool or what? So nice little pump there. Now there was a pump earlier in the previous hour, and you can see this pump here. We got up to 2.565 cents. That was sold into by a couple of large holders. They couldn't help themselves, right? Couldn't help themselves. Hey, it's gone up a couple cents. We made so much money. We're going to sell. So they sold. And anyway, after that, they got it got bought up. So just the way it goes in the markets, right? Just the way it goes in the markets. I didn't even see this candle. I just saw this candle now live. That's pretty hilarious. Let's go into, let's get rid of the RSI here. Let's have a look at the little trades here that have been pushing this price up. So we had little big buys in coming in here. Where was that here? So yeah, these were the, looks like the buys that we had coming in. We got some people selling into it here at 2.5 cents. That's where we got to. That's the last time I saw the price was 2.512. And then of course we had a few more sells. You know, we've started getting all these buys coming in. Look at all these buys. Woo, rocking on there. So very, very cool. And we've got some more buys coming in, and we're up at 2.637. So it's kind of nice to see. Very, very cool. So that is the trades. Let's look at the last 24 hours. This is on the hourly chart, by the way, for Hex. We've got 231 buys, 139 sells. And so that is a 62% buy in activity. The actual volume is lower, though, at 58% buy volume, but still significant, 1.4 million versus 1 million on the top trading pair. Liquidity in the pool at the top trading pair for US dollars and Hex is 6.6 million liquidity. So nice. We like that. Onwards and upwards, eh? So nice little green candle there. Let's zoom out. Let's get rid of that there and have a look at the daily time frame. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at 4 hours first. Let's do 4 hours. That's the 4 hour time frame there. So the 4 hour candle looking nice, all the way up from 2.439 to 2.637. Looking cool. Let's go to the daily and have a look at the daily there. And we're going to auto log that. That is the daily chart there, looking quite good now. And of course, let's see. Looks like we've got the momentum, doesn't it, in the chart potentially especially if we get past 2.8. 2.8 to 3.1 is still our resistance zone. So that's between this mark here and this mark here. That would break us out of that short-term resistance level there. And if we scroll that back down, you can see that from these past two tops, they'll break down through that resistance. It'd be kind of cool. And we can see from here that we've been down around about 2.8 twice now. That's kind of the bottom of the resistance band for me. And of course, getting over the 3.1 is just over this angular resistance here from the previous tops. So that would be pretty cool. Getting up to 3.1, that'd be a bit of money coming in for that. But we've had a nice little pump here at the moment. So I'm optimistic. And of course, the Testnet V3 stuff is coming around also. So let's get into that. That is what we're looking at there. Obviously, to get into the longer time frame from the top of the Hex price there, which around the 50 cent mark, we've got this blue line. That's our longer term resistance to get out of our bear market for Hex. And so that is what we're trying to tackle there. That's something for the future. But give or take, I mean, if we were trying to hit that today, that'd be around about 8 to 8.2 cents, somewhere in that ballpark. Obviously, as we move forward in time, that is an easier target to hit. So, by the time we get to, say, the middle of February, that target's closer to, closer to around about 7.8 cents. So almost down 0.4 of a penny there. So it does get easier to break out and onwards and upwards. We're looking forward to that. So we've got plenty of good news that potentially could come in that time frame. So let's do that. We're going to pull that in there. That is our time frame. We're going to get the Pulsechain update now. Before we do that, though, let's get into the chat and see who's arrived. And we're going to start talking about Pulsechain. Pulsechain. That's kind of the favorite topic these days. Let's get into that. What else? We've got Brennan. Morning, Superman and family. Good to see you, Brennan. Acid Thunder as well. Late here in the UK. What's up, Hex Token? Hey, good to see you, Acid Thunder, while the Hex price is up. So that's kind of cool. Happy Oz Day to the Oz crew. Yeah, happy Australian Day. Aussie, 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 oi, 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 Aussie, 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 oi, 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 Aussie, oi, Aussie, oi, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. There we are. There's some stuff there. What's some of the songs in Australia? Australia Fair. Australia Fair. Can't quite sing it, so I'll leave it out. But they've got some cool songs. BC in the Matrix. Good to see you, BC. Hex Token Pumps is Hex Total. Indeed, Hex Total. It is indeed Hex Token Pumps. 2.638 cents there. Let's see if we can challenge that 2.8 to 3.1. That'd be fun to do. We've certainly got the crypto market bouncing, so no reason why not. P Money says, can anyone translate RH crypto wizardry updates to layman terms? Might as well be in Swahili for me, says P Money. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. Check my pulse. What's up, Hex family? Good to see you. Check my pulse. PSI is in the house as well. Good to be back from vacay. I missed you more than I should have. Mr. Kiwi says PSI. That's hilarious, man. But welcome back, and I hope you had a good break. That's for sure. Dan Dog's in the house there. Thanks for sharing. Sharing is caring, as we say. Smash the likes, says Acid Thunder. Definitely smash the likes. Creepy Coin in the house there. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see Creepy Coin. And Kate Ferger is Wall. Hey, Kate Ferger. Woohoo! Hey, the cruise is coming up, isn't it? Is it February? I think it's February. Hello, everybody from Kate Ferger. Good to see you, Superman. It's always a pleasure, Kate Ferger. Great to have you in the chat there. Yes, and I think the cruise is on, the Hex Cruise. And I think it's in February. That's run by Black Hexkin, I think, does that. PSI says, interested to hear your thoughts on the Hex versus ETH BTC. Price in comparison, says PSI. Yeah, I'm not sure I'll be talking about that today, but definitely we'll be talking about other stuff. We're going to get into Pulsechain as our main topic. J-Man's in the house there. Hello, everybody. Good to see J-Man. Love the chant. Oi, 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 says so Brennan. Yeah. That's old school. That's old school. Val says, hello there, Superman from London. Nearly midnight here. Always listen to your quality content. Fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed indeed, Val. Always a pleasure. Good to see you in the house there. PSI says, I think we'll be able to guess better on the Fed's move after Friday's CPI. Yeah, very good point. So obviously those numbers feed into their decision. They probably pretty much made it, but the CPI will be important. And if it's in April, but yes, looking forward to it, says Cape Figure. Oh, it's in April. Oh, the Hex Cruise in April, not February. All right, cool. You always get that confused, mucked around. All right, let's get into it, folks. Let's get into it indeed. So here we are. We've got things that we know of, right? So it's not the 26th. We're not 26th. We're going to actually push this. The 26th is the beginning of the Pulsechain Testnet. That's kind of when I thought that it could launch. And if it did launch on the 26th, which is probably not going to, which is kind of tomorrow, then that I had it running for about 45 days. So that was kind of the idea. But the idea, is, of course, is that we're probably moving more into February now in terms of the launch. So we're going to move this all the way and live here to February. So I've got 1st of February now. And, of course, we'll adjust that accordingly. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. It's running for 45 days. This is my guesstimate there. Nothing special about that. We've got the Hex God stake coming out there on the 14th. We're expecting a big rise in Hex 600 Hex per T-share on the 16th there. But, of course, of interest to us is the Shanghai fork. That's going to be optionality there for the Pulsechain. Now, obviously, they can add that in later on if they want. Obviously, get more people validating with their Pulse. Kind of an important thing, getting those validators and nodes running up when Pulsechain goes live. We've got obviously Uniswap V3 license expires too, 1st of April there as well. So that's something that the team can do. Looks like PulseX will be Uniswap V2 to kick it off. So both of those are upgradable or added to the chain, and of course the big DEX PulseX. So that's no problem. I've still got the Pulsechain launch here somewhere in April or May. Kind of seems reasonable at the stage. That's kind of the earlier time frame for me. So that is kind of where I've got that at the stage. The other thing, of course, on the 1st of February on the financial market, getting 25 basis points is the expectation there. That'll take us to up to 4.75% on the federal funds rate. Then in March, expecting another 25 basis points, take us up to 5% on the federal funds rate. There's always the outside chance we might have, depending on where the CPI number comes in and stuff like that, as PSI mentioned earlier, is another 25 basis points taking us up to 5.25. Now that absolute terminal rate, obviously, the higher it goes, the more impact it has on the economy, and that's kind of where we are at the stage. But that would be a good finish there if we can finish at 5% and then just hold that rate into the second phase. And of course, I've got that going through to about September, October. And then a pivot. And this is assuming that all the economic indicators keep coming down as they have been, and that the interest rates have their delayed impact on the market. So obviously on the real economy, that has an impact, and then of course on employment as well, the GDP and employment, and then of course that flows into along with the inflation itself flows into the corporate earnings as well. So we expect that to see a delayed impact during the year. So that's kind of where we are. Obviously, some corporates are already front running that a little bit there, letting off staff and stuff like that. So that is also in play. All right, so yeah, very exciting. Let's get into the Hex Whalebot, and then we're going to go straight into Pulsechain updates from Richard. So what do we had here? We've had some stuff happening in the Whalebot here. I was going to jump straight into Pulsechain, but I forgot about the Whalebot, so we're going to quickly do that. Where are we up to? We'll scroll up here. All right, so 20. Let's have a look here. I don't think we've had too much actually. Yeah, 2 million Hex in stake there. 1.4 million penalties, so that's pretty cool. That's more payouts for us holders there. Another 2 million there in penalties there as well. And man, so a lot of penalties today. 2.6 million there. Man, some crazy stuff. We had 24 minutes ago, we had 8.4 million Hex bought for 219,000. Yeah, that explains the Hex pump there. And then we had 12.6 million as well. So some pretty decent money there. Over $500,000, $550,000 by Hex there. So that was kind of nice. Looks like over 20 million Hex. So very nice, as we say, very nice. Not sure if there's any comments on that. Cool, nice. There's Hex McKenzie. Nice indeed. So that is helps to explain our nice pumpamental there, 2.64 cents on Hex. Let's get into the updates. Pulsechain, here we go, up and to the right. Boom, here we go. Let's have some fun with this. We've got Coast. The team Coast was putting out some updates from Telegram, and I posted those on YouTube. And of course, I did a short on some of these, but the Richard Hartz ended up pushing these through his Twitter account. And of course, here he's got Pulsechain V3 here. This is what we've had so far. Let's go back actually, and let's do a full recap actually while we're at it. Might as well, we've got plenty of time. So Richard started giving us nice little Pulsechain Testnet updates. And we started off here on this one here with the staking. And this was the Pulsechain Testnet V3. And this is for the sort of the validator front end. So we sort of started seeing, overview deposit clients, checklist, etc., top up, stuff like that on Pulsechain Testnet V3. That was very exciting. So that was well received. We also saw the fact that this had 520,000 views so far, which is pretty nice. Gives you an indication of how many people will come out of the woodwork when Pulsechain goes live. It really is a big chain. And of course, looking to be the first fork of Ethereum proof of stake, which is going to be pretty exciting. And it's not an easy thing to do. You got to do all the clients, and it looks like they're focused in particular on Prism and Aragon. Prism and Aragon and Geth, and I'm just forgetting the last one at the moment, but I'm sure I remember it. Lighthouse. Lighthouse was the other one I was thinking. So Lighthouse and Prism are the two consensus codes. Geth and the Aragon, they're on the execution layer, so the two different layers of Ethereum. So that was pretty cool to see that around the validators. Very exciting. And of course, then we got our other update that we had coming not too far after that. We're just going to scroll up to Richard's stuff here. And that's when we got this one here on the 19th. And that's had 434,000 views on it so far. And of course, that was the Block Explorer, which was pretty cool. And we got cool things. We got to see the 10-second block times on the private testnet there for V3, which was really exciting. You can see them on the right there. We got the terminology about epochs and slots and blocks in there. So that terminology you probably get familiar with if you're not already familiar with. So that was kind of cool. And I did a video on that. And that's kind of exciting. So that was the update that we had there from Richard on the 19th, but he's been dropping some more. So here we go. We've got this here, 9 hours ago. Pulsechain Aragon client status as of today. So that's kind of cool. Remember Aragon, they're part of the execution clients, unless you're a developer. So this is an execution client, listens to the transactions and stuff like that into the chain. It picks those up and other things like that. So it's kind of cool. Smart contracts and stuff. So unless you're a developer, and really, even if you are, this stuff is hard to understand. Some people like these kind of updates, though. The bodies are all downloaded onto now onto the indexing and Merkle tree building stages. So Merkle tree Ethereum uses a kind of a Merkle tree there for transactions, initiating transaction, confirming the transaction, things like that. So it's kind of not confirming transactions, but picking them up and giving receipts to the transactions in the Merkle tree there. But basically, the basic idea was that development is going great. So everything's going pretty well with the team. And here was a picture of that. So that was kind of cool, operating there on the Aragon. So it's Aragon there and uploading the blocks. So that looks like they basically syncing Aragon. And the expectation is that might take something like 5 or 6 days or 7 days, something like that, to process, which is kind of cool. So that was pretty cool updates. I think we got some more updates though. Then we got another one here 9 hours ago. 7 hours ago news, stage 7 takes a long time. So they're following the Aragon load up process, or I think has quite a few stages on it, 16 or something like that. They're on stage 7 or 12, 13. They have stage 7 takes a long time. It's on block 6,664,977 of 15,689,673. So they're basically syncing at the moment, all those blocks, and of course ahead of the V3 testnet, and has been running for about 19 hours. So still got a long way to go there. And you can see all the details that they had there. So that is another picture of what we were looking at before. So that was kind of cool. A snapshot of this volume after it's done will allow spinning up Aragon nodes. Remember, blockchains have nodes that be people running their validators and things like that to confirm, and using consensus codes, software clients to confirm the blockchains, the transactions and the blocks. The snapshot of this volume after it's done will allow spinning up Aragon nodes quickly, like we have for Geth currently. And so that was pretty exciting, pretty well received there as well. I think he had another comment in here. Let me just jump back to that. Yeah, so that was the comments there. So that was pretty cool from Richard Hart around the old Pulsechain. So it looks kind of like, yeah, we've got the Aragon syncing. Looks like it'll probably take quite a few more days to do. We don't really know much about any of the other clients where they're using those. So I did pull up, let me pull this up just so that it gives us sort of context. Let me pull up client diversity on Ethereum. So client diversity on Ethereum, let's pull this up. Go to this here. So we have the two, we've got client diversity here. So we have the two execution clients here and the consensus clients running on Ethereum at the moment. We can see that Geth is 83.7% and Aragon is 5.7% running on the Ethereum network. In terms of the consensus clients, so confirming the transactions and blocks there with validators, we've got Prism is sitting at 66% of the clients there, Lighthouse at 18.7. So you can see why they've kind of chosen these two. So we just don't know whether they've been working on any of these others here that I'm aware of, at least, like Tico and Nimbus there, but we've actually got most of them. The top two really do cover most of the consensus client software that people will be using for validating. So that's kind of their 66% plus 18. So, it's pretty much what 85% or so is on these two. Now, obviously on here, we've got Geth 83.7%, and they're currently working on this Aragon one here, 5.7%. So that looks pretty cool. And then, now whether working on Open Ethereum, I don't know if I've seen anything on that. You can let me know in the chat if you have seen anything. But as far as I know, those are the only two that we've had a lot of words updates there. But obviously, we're going to need client diversity, and so that's why they're working on these four main clients on the execution and consensus, which is pretty cool. What else was going to say about that? They had an issue with Prism, and they had direct conversation with the Prism team in terms of a bug, and it looks like they've fixed that up too. So that's kind of cool. Moving forward with that, we're going to obviously have 10-second block times on the chain, so that's going to be faster than the Ethereum chain. Therefore, that's going to impact the APY, inflation and deflation on the chain. So it's going to be important. And it looks like I said, in terms of PulseX, looks like we're probably going to have the V2, but upgradable or upgradable, and we'll probably end up, as my speculation, obviously, but we'll probably end up with having I'm trying to find my old chart here. Where we're going here, which will probably end up with these being done later, is my guess, because they can't hold us back. But of course, you want to get Pulse people staking with their validators. So having Pulse withdrawals may not be that necessary straight away. And then, of course, the V3 license too. They did have approximation in May last year for the AMM bot. So there's no reason why they won't just use that. But of course, using actuals is typically better. So it's a bit of a question mark over that in my view. But that's kind of where we are at this stage. So that's why I've moved this back to 1st of February. That could end up being pretty good. Now, obviously, if there is more development than what's been disclosed so far, then we could be later on in this piece if they've got more work to do. But if that's just those 4 clients, then we could be, February's looking very good. So, yeah, I think that was probably all I was going to say there as well. Now, obviously, once they do that, they've synced all these clients. They have to do the nodes and the validators and get them all running up for testnet. Do the front UIs and all the sort of stuff like that. So that's kind of where we're sitting at the moment on the testnet from the looks of it. So it's looking good. What else we got going? Let's jump up the top here. Got some more comments. Hey, look, just coming back to the Hex cruise there. I'm a little bit jealous, Kate Figure. I know it's going to be a blast on the Hex cruise. Looks like there's going to be a lot of people there, so that sounds good. Not looking forward to the drink prices though. I'm broke like no jokes. Is Cat Figure. Ouch, ouchie. Hey, look, if just like all the ladies get access to the Pulsechain devs, maybe you just have to dress up like a lady and you might get some free drinks at the bar. How about that on the boat? Anyway, jokes aside, before I get rug pulled, because I said what's nice is that the Hex believer, I'm assuming they all have DCA'd, needs a significantly lower price than all-time high to now be in profit, as you always say. Yeah, dollar cost average is typically the best way to approach that, especially if you bought Hex way back when it was at the top of the cycle, as it were. Andrew in house, nice one, Andrew. And PSI says not so much Superman, but Megamind, not Megamind. Kate Figures in house, Borat, very nice. Andrew Reynolds in with the $5 super sticker. I appreciate that. Big shout out to you. Thanks for the support. Hey, Hex Token, everybody. Happy Australia Day, Aussies. Not sure if chat is broken. No one has seen my comments on streams this week, says Andrew. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I thought I have mentioned you a couple of times in the stream, but it's good to see you in the house. Anyway, Andrew, I thought I saw you in the last couple, shouted your name out a couple of times, but good to see you in the house there. Appreciate it. PSI says if one is providing liquidity on Uniswap, would those tokens be copied across at the Pulsechain launch, or do they need to be liquid in your wallet? Do they need to be liquid in your wallet? So if you're providing liquidity, that's the ETH pairs that the AMM bot's going to be harvesting. So they're going to harvest those and put those into Pulsex. So they're non-ETH pairs, and I think they're showing up in Pulsex there. So you may end up having to you'll end up having to provide other liquidity. That's my understanding at the moment. PSI's in house there. Hey, how might this affect stablecoin pairs in the days before launch, since they will be how might they affect stablecoin pairs in the days before launch, since they will be lose their value on Pulse? Well, I don't think they're all going to lose value. So what we see is that at the moment the Sacrifice wallet is holding about 50% of its funds in DAI as opposed to USDC or USD Tether. And so I think that we'll probably, if that holds true, we'll probably have a lot of DAI trading pairs, is what I'm expecting there. Obviously, it's my speculation based on the Sacrifice wallet holding and transferring quite a bit of value into DAI token. And obviously, DAI token is backed. It's over collateralized, but it's backed by several asset classes, obviously ETH and USDC itself. So that's a little contentious there. But of course, if you're going to, if you don't want to protect your value, then you want to have a bit of diversity. Now, it is still holding USDC, but of course, DAI doesn't have God mode keys. So that's probably the strength behind that. Kate Figure says, looks like V3 by this update. So yeah, I'm expecting quite a DAI may end up being the biggest stablecoin pair. Now, remember when they get wrapped over to that DAI on the DAI copy on the actual Pulsechain might get valued up quite quickly. That might happen. But of course, DAI is going to come from Ethereum, get locked in on the bridge, and we'll have a wrapped synthetic version on the Pulsechain side. So I suspect that those might end up being the biggest peers until all the native stable coins come in, like Liquid Lines, USDL, and of course BankX and CST Coast stables and things like that. Now the Heart stable may be in the future. Maybe Ratchet's still going to do that, but maybe he's not going to do it because Coast is already doing a fiat back stable for Pulsechain, so that may not end up eventuating. That's probably where we end up there. And we never know. We may get some wildcard stables coming out in addition to that. Tin Top's in house. What's up, Tin Top? What's up? Good to see you, Tin Top. And Cape Figure as well. Hey, Tin Top. Woohoo! Getting excited on the channel. I love it. Rango's in house there. Hey, all morning. Good to see you, Rango. And Cape Figure says, I actually think by April, Hex will be sitting pretty again. So hopefully drink prices won't matter. Yes, says Cape Figure. Nice one. I like the sound of that. You won't have to dress up, basically. You won't have to dress up. All right. Let's get into it. We've got Hex at 2.681 cents. Not too bad there. So that's some of the cool positive stuff there from Richard. So February's kind of looking good based on the information we know so far. Obviously, if there's more development work, then maybe it'll take a bit longer, but things are looking pretty good here at the moment. So that is pretty much it. Let's get into Hedron. Hedron at 1,533, moving up with Hex as well. Actually, let's just jump back to Hex one more time. We're going to get rid of all the overlays, and let's pull this up on the chart here. Let's auto that. Let's scale that a little bit there. So we've actually got the bullish cross. So we've got the lines here. See the orange line? That is the 9-day exponential moving average, and that is over the 21-day. So the short term over the long term, and that's looking really good. So we've got a nice little swing back up here after this cross. So looking good there on the chart. We're at 2.681. Man, are we going to cross? Are we going to challenge that 2.8 to 3.1 for finally? That'd be really bullish on the X chart overall. That'd be super, super good. Start making new highs, new lower lows, new higher lows, sorry, I should say, and start breaking this downtrend bear. It would be pretty exciting to see that. Let's jump over to Hedron though. Hedron at 1533. We can see the buyers are in control on the DMI here. That's the green buyers line versus the red sellers line. Momentum is not yet, it's confirmed yet, but the buyers are still in command at the moment. And of course, we've got the RSI there at 55, so sitting just slightly on the bullish side of average. But there we are, 15. We've got a nice cross here as well, with the orange line there giving us a nice little buyers slightly in control here. Let's see where we go, 1533. Are we going to finally break out over this 1600 and start to attack, maybe 17800, even the 2000 line? That's kind of the next push. And then a nice couple green candles in a row to do that. But of course, we've got to keep in mind the fact that next Wednesday is the 1st of February. We've also got the CPI coming in on Friday. So those could move the market's sentiment as well. So just remember that. It looks good at the moment, but and we've probably still got, maybe tomorrow's could come pretty well. But Friday, as long as that CPI number comes down, things will be very party time over the weekend. If the CPI is low, we could have a real party time into the weekend. And of course, that hopefully bodes well for the 1st of February on Wednesday. We shall see. So that's kind of may the good times in January roll on. It was the window of opportunity, and it's been performing pretty well. Buyers at 28 versus sellers 23. The volume is 63%, so 143,000 versus 81 on the volume there over the last 24 hours. So 2 to 3. 2/3 here is 2/3 is buy volume. That's pretty good. Nice on the old Hedron chart. People will be happy in that, I guess, with the price moving up there. Let's have a look at the Hex HSI stakes there, 4,266 in the liquidation queue that have not been bought into the auction house yet by people. Let's have a look how many auctions. We've got 54 today. Man, that's a jump. That's a decent jump. We've got 54 today in the auction house. That's a big number there. So there might be something there for everybody. Let's have a look for some of the bigger ones at the moment. We've got a couple of 100,000 ones there, 300,000s, 480, so 57 T-shares. Some pretty decent sizes in here. Man, lots of good options here if you're looking to pick up some nice T-shares. Potentially, if these are priced right, you can check them out. So very cool. That's on app.icosa.pro. Now, if you go to our Discord, you'll find under useful links in our Discord that you'll find the Hedron Icosa section on the useful links, and you'll be able to get access to these links if you want to have a look at bidding you will need Hedron to bid on these Hex HSI stakes. And of course, make sure you do your valuation correctly. So take the current numbers. Obviously, if we're at the bottom of the bear market and eventually we get back to another bull market, and then these will feel like a steal, I'm sure. Let's see how that goes. Obviously, nothing on this channel is investment advice. Do your own due diligence, all that good stuff. All right, let's jump away from that. So look at the Wattses. Over the last 24 hours, we had 2 Watts NFTs burned in the last 24 hours, 1,297 endpoints. And of course, we've got just over 1.5% has been burned. And we're at about just $1,200 or so has been burned today. So very slow still, even though it's got the price of Acosa got close to break even at the price. So let's have a quick look at Acosa and see whether that is, I think it needs to get to about 66 cents or something like that. And it looks like it's just below that at the moment. Yeah, 62. I think it needs to get to about 66, 68, somewhere in that ballpark. And that is day one. Watts owners will be, I guess, US dollar break even. I think that's the number. So that is where we are there. Let us know in the chat if you have any comments on that. Sharing is caring, as we say. Now, obviously, Pulsechain, we've talked about this. Pulsechain, this is one of the top projects, AAA projects. Now, obviously, actions have to follow words, but it looks like their actions are following their words very, very closely. And this would very well put them into the top AAA projects for Pulsechain. Coast is looking to do fiat on-ramp and off-ramp. And, of course, we know that that is part of Richard Hart's vertical integration, having Pulsechain, having PulseX, and having a fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, and of course some optionality around a new MetaMask wallet. Those are kind of the 4 vertical integrations. That being said, of course, MetaMask, typically working pretty well, but can be improved. Obviously, we've got internet money and things out there working on that, and maybe the Hearts wallet as well is still in progress. So we've still got that out there. But in terms of on-ramp, off-ramp, looks like Coast is going to do it. And they're going to be launching on Ethereum first with USDC is going to be the stable that you'll be getting. You can buy Hex with it. So it's another on-ramp, off-ramp. Very cool. Now, obviously, they're going to be coming to Pulsechain, and they're looking to launch their own stable coin, the Coast one, backed by US dollar fiat. That's going to be very, very cool. And you can see that just posted this today. It's going to be launching very, very soon. So excited about that from Coast team. So it's getting there, folks. Pieces of the puzzle coming together for Pulsechain, and it's very exciting to see these teams deliver. It's going to be really awesome. So look forward to this. Probably February is early February is probably the first half of February. Maybe is probably when we're looking for the launch of this. Maybe they might sneak in just for the end of the month. Who knows? We will find out. Now they're obviously expanding the global reach as well. Obviously USA, UK is up on the map there, and I think Australia as well. They're looking obviously in Canada, Indonesia, and other places around the world. So they're looking to go global. And of course, Pulsechain is going to be global. So why not? Let's bring it on. Fiat on-ramp, off-ramp. But this is a critical piece of the vertical integration that Richard talks about. So very, very, very cool. Now, let's jump over into the Hex daily stats. I think we've got the day 1,150. It's not yet not yet printed yet, but we'll wait for that. It's going to be out in a few minutes. In the meantime, we're going to have a look at the stakes coming out. So let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at the stakes coming out at the moment. So we've got, this is the global stakes for everybody that stake Hex. So check out hex.com, links in the video description. But we can see that we've got relatively small candles coming out this moment. These are all the short, big, large holders staking. We've seen a few of them already mature and just stake out a bit further here. So we've got a couple of stakes here, 313 here in April, another 325. And we've got these ones here, 331 million Hex here on the 3rd of March. So we've got a couple out there. But you can see this goes all the way through to July, and there's not that many, relatively speaking. And, of course, all these, this is the last time these guys are going to get the share rate at this price, because when Hex Godwell here comes out with its 2.2 billion, I'm not sure if that's exactly the amount that it had, but it's the candle is 2.2 billion. That is going to, what will it do? It's going to increase the share rate. And, of course, we're going to expect on the 16th, about 600 Hex per T-share go up there. So all the large holders will have to obviously pay 600 Hex more per T-share. But of course, these guys are the lucky ones because they're going to get one more chance to stake at the lower end of the share rate before it rises after here. But after this point, they're all going to be paying that 600 when they do their next 30-day stake, the next 60-day stake, the next 90-day stake. they'll all have to they'll get less shares. So they are getting slowly diluted. And of course, we are seeing that I think it was around about 25% of all the new growth ends up going to pay for their interest scraping. Not all of them sell at the same time, though. Some of them scrape and some of them just add it. They just like the flexibility of having that short-term liquid stakes there. Speculators, of course, speculating there on the Hex price over time. But they get diluted for doing the speculation. There is a cost to it. It's not free to speculate like that, but this is the way it goes. It's one of the wonderful things about the Hex contract is the share rate there. It does make you pay a cost for speculating. So this is the way it goes. That's kind of cool. Obviously, in Hex is designed for staking getting Hex T shares, and of course, longer pays better, bigger pays better. But obviously, if the share rate is getting adjusted by big stakes like the Hex Godwell, then earlier pays better too. Earlier pays better because the share rate is not waiting for anybody, so it's going up and to the right. So it's pretty cool. That is what's happening there on the stakes there. We've got day 1,150 hot off the press, the 25th of January 2023. The price is up 8.2%, and we're at 2.641 cents. Nice day in the office for the old Hexkins there. Payout per T share is 6.597, a huge day for Hex stakers. We've had a nice look. We got the price and we got the yield and price together. Yes, we love it. All right, we take it for what it is. So the share price there is $677. The Hex share rate there up 7.7 Hex per T share, up to 25,622 is the share rate now. And remember, that's going to jump pretty seriously on the 16th. There is the expected date after the Hex Godwell. Average stake net there, 6.51 years. The APY rate there, yield and emergency in stakes there is 38.11% paid out in Hex terms. Obviously, the US price can move around. Liquidity in the pool. Man, look at this. Is this crazy? Crazy numbers here. Actually, let's go back another 10 days because I'm pretty sure no, that's not what we're going to look at. Okay, so we're up here. This number seemed to have adjusted, but we're up at 288. 280. Am I on the right table? Yeah, I am. 288 million Hex here, and we're down to 219 today. Isn't that cool? So last couple of days, so it's kind of neat. We got the liquidity in the pool. 2 points. Something's wrong with this. What's going on here? Something is not right there, folks. So. Yeah, something's not right with some of the numbers. So I'm going to have to jump through those numbers. That doesn't look right at all. We got the T-shares. This looks right. So we're down 1,900. You have to forget the liquidity pool. We'll have to look at that another day when it resets. Obviously, something not right there. T-shares, $10.3 million US. Sorry, now I'm getting confused between the pool. Now we're in T-shares here. So down to 1,900 T-shares down to 10.3 million T-shares. And let's jump over to the T-share right there. Sometimes the spreadsheet does do some funny wonky things. So normally if we just don't talk about it, the next day it fixes itself up. So it's like magic, really. Stake percentage of coins, 10.08% of Hex is staked. We've got a massive 7.3 million Hex in penalties today. Very, very cool. Remember, 50% goes to the origin account. 50% of those penalties goes into addition to the yield payout, which you can see on the left here. Was it 68 million today for everybody? That gets 50% goes to the OA and 50% goes to stakers, which is pretty exciting. We've got the current holders up 67 to 317,149. This is on Etherscans. If you looked on Etherscans, what you'd see. The stakers are up 10 today, up to 117,923. Now, obviously, it's really the community that needs to get out there and spread the word with direct promotions and other activities in terms of introducing people to Hex.com and staking, getting the T-shares and getting these numbers up. So that's kind of really important. Get out there and play your part, as it were. Total holders there up 126 to 525,048. So very cool. Very, very cool. That's day 1,150. And of course, now we're on to day 1,151. We're in our second month of year 4 for Hex. And of course, we're rocking it on with the DMV, as I always say. The Hex payout is basically 6.238 Hex per T-share without any penalties today. And that is the base amount. And of course, that should move around after February when the Hex Godwell moves out. So it's going to be interesting to see that pop back up. Now, what will the Hex Godwell do? We will see. We'll find out. Could it rinse and repeat? That would be dramatic if it rinsed and repeat this process with the share rate and the APY. That would be impressive. That'd be interesting and impressive. Some people would love it. Some people wouldn't love it. and we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that is pretty much it on that. That is the daily Hex daily results. We had some good news there. The Fiat on-ramp, off-ramp is coming. That's going to be on Ethereum and then Pulsechain. So looking good there. Very exciting. All right, let's jump away from all that. Now let's get back into Hex price. Hex price here at the moment, 2.668. Looking very, very cool. Let me just close out some of these sites here. Gwei has come back down at 22. So it's come back a bit there from 30 to 40 Gwei. That's nice to see. And it's a BTC sitting at around $23,086. So very, very nice on the chart here. Really is looking good at the moment. Let's jump into any of the comments that we've got. Let's go back up here. I think we got Tintot says when a V4B testnet, sir. Hopefully we don't have one. It's always possible. I can only see us having a V4 in my view if we're going to incorporate the Shanghai fork. It's probably we could possibly get that then. Maybe if they have lots of issues with the V3, it doesn't go quite as smoothly. Maybe they could have a V4. That's definitely plausible. When 01 says D-Wave. That's funny. Lammy says, keep dumping your Wattses. I will be the last man standing, says Lammy. You will be. But at the moment, it's the last crowd standing, as I always say. People not giving up their Wattses. Everyone has a wrench, says Andrew. Do they? Oh, I'm not sure if everyone has a wrench, do they? Let's have a look here. Yeah, I'm not sure. Crypto T says, the last man standing equals you can't sell. And Andrew Reynolds says, Wattses will dump in early bull market. Diamond hands will be rewarded amazingly, says Andrew. That's probably a lot of truth to that. As the price goes up, it's a function of the price. Kate Fergus says those that hold their Pulsechain and Pulsex through the volatility will be rewarded amazingly long term. Yeah, I agree with that, Andrew. I think that's the place there. No one that holds Hex staking should never have to sell any of their Pulse, in my opinion. A Pulse is just a backup, says Kate Figure. It's more of a capital play, yeah, from that point of view, isn't it? More of a capital play as opposed to an income play. Yeah. He says, I would like to see a poll of why people got into Hex. Personally, was wrecked trading, trying to get rich quick, and love the delayed gratification narrative. I was ready for slow and steady wins. The race, says PSI. Yeah, that's true. Versus BTC maxis who converted, for example. CJ in the house there. Good to see CJ. Welcome into the chat there. Crypto T says 25% of the penalties goes to Louis Vuitton, and other 25% goes to Prada, says Crypto T. That's pretty funny. Kate Figure says, I got in early, but sadly, because of all the haters, I only put in 4 ETH in originally, and being braver, I would have put all my ETH in. Just shows you never let others dissuade you, says Kate. Are you referring to the Hex AA lobby, the Kate Figure? Let us know. Although I generally like people disclosing their positions on social media. Generally not a good rule of thumb, even if it's historical. So we're at 2.668 cents there on Hex. Looking good. Pulsechain Testnet updates been coming pretty nicely, thick and thin here from Richard. So looking very, very nice indeed on this stuff. So very neat. I know that a lot of the influencers out there are getting excited, so it's good. Excited influencers is great, right? Get more people active. Spreading the good word of Pulsechain and Hex. You can't go wrong with that, right? You can't go wrong with that. But at the moment, we've got the Hex chart. Let's go to the 15 minutes on the Hex chart, coming up on an hour on a live stream. That is a nice little breakout to the upside there on the 15-minute. Very, very exciting. Let's go to, let's have a look at the daily. I don't know if I pulled up the RSI actually earlier, did I? No, I didn't. So, yeah, I did actually. We're at 57. So, still looking pretty good there on the RSI. So, that's not too bad. So we'll go to the 4 hourly, see what the 4 hourly looks like. 4 hours a bit higher there. We're up to 64, but still looking pretty good on the hourly. That's the hourly chart there, and RSI just gone into oversold territory a little bit there. So we might have a little bit of a breather up here, might we, before we try to tackle maybe this 2.8 cent mark up the top here. It could be in play. So that is that. Let's go back into. We'll just leave it on the 15-minute. Let's do that. 15-minute chart there. And we'll auto log that. Bam. Look at that. I love the auto log. So cool. So that is an hour. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live stream. PSI says still better than most of us. Yeah, that is probably true. That's probably true. All right, so that is the Hex price, 2.659. Nice little pump here. To BC at 23,000. We're getting some updates around the testnet. Looks like they're syncing it up at the moment. That is looking super, super bullish. We've got Geth, Aragon, Prism, and Lighthouse. The Prism and the Lighthouse being the consensus. Aragon and the Geth there being the execution layers. So very, very cool. So the execution layer listening for the transactions, getting all those set up there related to the Merkle tree and all that sort of stuff. We got the Prism and the Lighthouse there for the consensus, confirming blockchains, having validated nodes set up around the world, all that sort of good stuff. So it's kind of cool. Looks like we're getting there, folks. They'll spin up or spin all that up. We're going to second tick. It's 10-second block times. Means we'll potentially that will impact the APY inflation and deflation on Pulsechain. So it's going to be pretty cool. 32 million Pulse required to be a validator on Pulsechain, so it's about $3,500 on sacrifice values. So it's going to be pretty neat. We've got going to have that new block explorer, which is cool. Yeah, so it's looking good, man. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's getting there. It's coming. It's coming. Believe. Apparently, the sacrifice balances are also done, so that's kind of cool. I guess that incorporates everybody that didn't listen to the rules about the 4th of April. That being said, and of course, Richard still had the websites up for sacrificing, so I guess you can't blame anybody. That was 4th of April, remember? That was supposed to finish off there. Man, it's a long time ago now. It seems so like I'm starting to lose track of the years. It's been a while since the sacrifice began, 15th of April, 15th of July, 2021. It's a long time ago now. I'm starting to forget the years. It's almost like I pretend I talk about it and it's like it happened last year. That's how long it gets. Once you start going past a year, it sort of tricks you out there a little bit there. So it's pretty funny. All right. What else there? We've got a few other comments here. Let me go to you. PSI says, I don't know if the RSI is looking good, but the PSI always does. That's funny, man. Had I known what else there? I had some BTC and could have free claimed X, but didn't know about it or RH. I would have loved him back then. Now too, of course. Smash the likes, says KD. Different smash the likes. Yeah. So what you haven't known during this live stream, I had a massive headache during this live stream. So sorry if you probably haven't. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but yeah, it's been I woke up with it. It's not, don't know why. So yeah, but I managed to get through the live stream. Isn't that cool? Very nice. That's what happens. Hex pumps and Pulsechain news can keep you going. That's what's exciting about it. Very, very cool. Now, I don't think there's been much other updates around there. There's a lot of people talking about what will the price of Pulsechain be, what will the price of PulseX be. There's a lot of excitement about that out there. People getting excited for those. So very, very cool. Now, in terms of sacrifices, there weren't that many, right? Let's have a quick look at that while we're out here. Let's go to PulseX lead and have a look at some of the sacrifices that were on as a flashback to people that hold PulseX. This is PulseX. So it's kind of indicative numbers here. Yeah, pretty exciting. We obviously got the big Hex Godwell sitting number 2 here. Overwatch Rackham Shell at the top there. That's been pretty quiet as well. We haven't heard much from Rackham at all. Maybe it's SEC related. Who knows? They're obviously big VC, so they've got other businesses to run as well. But they did stop talking about it following the SEC stuff there. We're expecting Rackham, one of the billionaire VC, to do a lot of social media, and that just all ended. So it had to be something like that stopped that. Let's have a look at Pulse. Let's have a look at Pulse here. Actually, they don't have one, so go over to the Pulsechain one. So with PulseX lead here, we have the wallets at 136,174. Obviously, there's syndicated wallets in here as well. So people that have like the Magic Carp Ride team that have something like 1,000 or so. Can't remember the exact number they told us, but they have a lot of people that sacrifice through them. And then of course we have the Pulsechain one, which was even further back. So PulseX was sacrificed between about the 29th of December 2021 through to obviously the official time ending about the 4th, 5th of April there on 2022. But of course, people have been sacrificing for these anyway. That's the way it goes. Pulse lead, of course, this is Pulsechain, the main coin. This is going to be the coin on the chain. And of course, this is kind of the values that they had on the website at the time. And the wallets were even less. I mean, we're talking about even dramatically less here. They were at, we've got the number down the bottom here, 41,810. So that's dramatically different from 136,000 over here, isn't it? So that was Pulse coin. So people that sacrifice for Pulsechain, they got to feel pretty special right now. But hey, look, there are some very large holders in here, and we know they will sell down. So if you're looking for opportunities to pick up these coins, some of these people in here that you can see at the top of the list here with millions of dollars sacrificed, they got plenty of Pulse to redistribute at a price. They'll do it at a price, right? But we know some of them will exit early, and that will be the opportunity to pick up the Pulse coin. There's always somebody, right? We saw one of the Hex whales there sell, 48 million or what it was the other day. We saw another one sell over 200 million. We saw one before that sell another large sum. I can't remember what it was, but it was another. We've had three big whales. So there's always large holders willing to sell, right? So I guess they play the volume game. They get a couple X's to play the volume game. That's a lot of money to them. So that's kind of where it plays out there. You can see all the millions here for Pulsechain. So let's scroll down down the bottom here. People that sacrifice about 1 million. Those are approximate numbers. There are slightly other chains and stuff like that. But 75, they're over 1 million. So it gives you an idea of the estimation there. Let's see. I think they might have an estimation in the wallet. So it gives us a basic estimation there. It's got here that they would get 10 billion SAC points was the estimate for this. Obviously, this is not the final calc, but that is the estimate. So it gives you an idea of what they would have. Now, obviously, I did Pulsex, did a video on Pulsex with people, and that there would be about 11. If people didn't sell, there'd be about 11,000 people with 100 million. And of course, if it hit the 1 cent, then they'd all become millionaires. But of course, we know that many will be flushed out before that time, typically speaking. So there'll be a bit of redistribution going on there too. So that is kind of the play going on there, and it's going to be fun. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I've had people talking to me about it, going, man, I'm lucky I got into the sacrifice," or other people saying, "I missed out on it, and I want to get them. I want to get the coins." And so there's all different perspectives people got in and out, but definitely is 41,000 wallets. It seems like a fairly exclusive club there at the moment. We will see. The market will decide how exclusive that club was, and of course it will be redistributed, so people will get pick up some good volumes. There will be always opportunities there. It's going to be fun to see it play out on the old Hex there. Hex at the moment 0.2677 on the Hex price. It's going to be fun. KP, so no, we've got past that. Superman feel better. Thanks for the stream. Hey, you're welcome, KD. Lame is in house here. Are people still sending funds to the SA SAC address? They are, and we can see that just on Ethereum there. So have a go and have a look. Pulsex, go to Pulsex sacrifice, and you can still see stuff coming in. I think we'll go to this one here. You can still see stuff coming in here. Texan token even coming in. I have no idea why. Texan token 6 million. Pulsex X coming in. This is all in the last 6 days or so. So not as much as there was, but still stuff coming through. It looks like the Pulsex Sacrifice sent out 700,000 in Gemini dollars out there. Where's that gone? Where's that gone? This wallet here. Die 704. So this is the key, right? So if you go to, let's go back to the Pulsex Sacrifice address. You can see at the moment that it is holding all this DAI. Look at all this DAI, 786. So this is why pretty interesting. This is a very good chance that this will be the main trading pair on Pulsechain in terms of the your general stable coins. So DAI seems to be the pick of choice at the moment by the Pulsex Sacrifice. So we've got 270, just number one wallet actually. I think it's number one. It's been number two or number one. Let's have a look at the holders of DAI. So there is how much? There is 5,156,000,000 DAI on the ETH chain, and Pulsechain Sacrifice is wallet number 2. Sometimes it does switch around to number 1 as well. It was number 1 the last time I checked, but of course we've got Compound in here as well, one of the big DeFis, Compound and Curve on the top here as well. Obviously we're going to have a fork of Aave on here, so you can see Aave DAI sitting at number 9. So we're going to have a fork of Aave, a fiat. It's going to be a fork of Aave, so it's going to be interesting to see the big players in there. I'd like to see more of that sort of innovation coming to Pulsechain. So there's still more opportunity to get the rest of the top tier dApps on it. But having Aave fork there is going to be pretty good. So that is pretty interesting. Now, obviously, that is where a lot of the DAI is, and people are still sacrificing. Let's go have a look at the Pulsechain. Pulsechain Sacrifice. And of course, there's not much funds in there anymore because they got transferred into Pulsex for the most part. But let's have a look at the ERC20s in particular. 2 days ago, we've got 2. We've got 2,000 Hex there. Some Matic token coming in there. Let's look for some insane 102,000 Hex there. That's a pretty decent amount. 102,000 coming in there. So it's not as bad as it used to be, but it does come in there for sure. So let's pretty much let's look at transactions in here. We've got ETH coming in there from the looks of it as well. So yeah, people still trying to sacrifice for that. Meanwhile, Hex is at 2.677 cents, and a Bitcoin is still rising at the moment. Bitcoin is on the move, 23,145. This is a quick phase if we're going to go for another push higher, but it's only going to consolidate this long. Wow, that's kind of interesting to see. All right, crazy if they are, says Lemmy. A few people are, so small amounts, definitely pulled off, tapered off there, but the 100,000 X is a pretty decent amount. It's just wasting your money, honestly, to sacrifice. Do not sacrifice to the wallets. That's crazy. Just look to pick up some. Look to pick up, keep your dry powder for Pulsechain launch, Pulsex launch, or sacrifice if you want to get into Power City, something like that, where you stake your WAT token and earn Pulse off all the businesses that they're going to be launching. Of particular interest is the Transformer cross-chain bridge, swap bridge. I think the delay will mean even more initial pump sellers on Pulsechain. I think so. The community is so much bigger now, and some people say, "Well, isn't the excitement out? Isn't the stuff out there?" But then you got to take into account the fact that 2022 was such a bad year for the bear market, and all the CeFi and centralized got absolutely smashed during that year. A lot of people lost a lot of money, and people were looking for that next big thing. Now there are other things. Nothing's going to be as big as Pulsechain, right? There are other cool things out there that I think are emerging, but nothing's going to be like Pulsechain. And so yeah, it's going to be fun to see that play out. And people are going to come out of the woodwork, right? That momentum is going to come back very quickly, and then once that momentum cements itself in, it's going to get into that euphoria type of phase. Where you get the launch. It's going to be pretty good. Sandy Beach in the house there. Woo! Hello everybody. I'm here for a minute. 1 minute, neck minute. Cape Figure says, "Hey Sandy, good to see you always. Was wondering where you were." How about that? That's from Cape Figure there, Sandy. And then they've got a little conversation going in the chat. Let's read it out loud on live stream. Kate, I'm out tonight. I'm partying down at the north, partying down at the local restaurant bar at the down at the beach on the same beach. MB says, "What's wrong with those people, dear Lord, sending SA6 a year late? Is this a real word?" I know they're basically just they're just basically burning their money by sending it to the sacrifice. Rackham might come back, says Lemmy. Yeah, well, we just haven't heard from him, and it's probably related to the SEC thing, is my guess on that one, because he was going to become a big influencer in the sense that he bought 20,000, 25,000, maybe $24,000 worth of gear, and he was going to do all this stuff. Now he did start doing a little bit on his Telegram channel, so I'm not sure if he's been active on his Telegram. I don't know if I'm not on Telegram, so I can't see that. But he's still building, right? They're still doing the. I don't see any reason that's stopping. So they're looking at doing fiat on-ramp, off-ramp as well, like Coast, but they're doing it via their centralized exchange, and they're going to have listing site and government level security. So pretty bullish there, and that's going to be based apparently out of Saudi, as I understand it, and so therefore You got that preferential treatment for Pulsechain and a whole, capital market demand coming from there as well. So I don't imagine that any of that's really changed, although we haven't heard from it. That should all still be in play. You've done all the investment and it's all standalone, so that should be all ready to kick off too. Andrew says, OMG, that Hex pump. Yeah, the Hex pump's looking pretty good today. Let's jump over here. Bam. Oh, there it is there. 2.68. So Hex is really pumping here. It's on the move. That's on the 15-minute chart. If we go to the daily, have a look at that. Let's auto log that. Bam. There's the daily chart. This is starting to look good here. Definitely want to break that 2.8 to 3.1. Up and away after that, right? That'd be pretty neat to get over there. Even if we get up to my original price, remember, it was on the second wave, which didn't happen. 3.6 to 3.8, and then we take profit take back down over the 3.1, and then consolidate and bounce off that. That's kind of what we might see there up to there, and then back down, and then bounce off. It could happen there too. The 1st of February is we got Friday, so tomorrow. Oh, not tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's Thursday, isn't it? US time. So Thursday and then Friday. So 2 more days to the CPI number. And then we've got, the CPI, if it comes down, that would be cool. And then, of course, we've got the 1st of February, next Wednesday, US time. It will be, because it'll be Thursday here, will be the Fed interest rate hikes. And, of course, we're hoping that's 25 basis points and not too hawkish. It would be a cool outcome. That'd be neat. Lemmy says, bought way too much Hex today. Break 2.8 and watch it explode, says Lemmy. Yeah. Nice one there, Lemmy. People have money to burn for a sacrifice. How about starting a demo token that supports local Democratic candidates? Democratic candidate. I can't even say the word. Who's with me? It says PSI. Democratic candidates. I'm not sure what you mean by Democratic candidates there. Archipelago says, hey, Superman, are you going back to the 2x daily streams with Pulsechain launches? No, but I will be doing a lot more short videos probably on that one. We'll probably be doing live streams. It's like, honestly, when Pulsechain launches, it's going to be hardcore. It's going to be busy for influencers, man. We're going to be busy doing stuff. It's going to be busy for community people out there. You guys are going to be busy. You guys are going to be spreading the word. And it's going to be busy time, man. It's going to be insane. Everyone's going to be busy. No, it's not just influencers, but the community, and you're all going to be out there doing stuff, spreading the word, and trying to create value for yourself. One of the reasons we don't cover drama on this channel, even though a lot of people, there's a certain part of the market that likes drama, is that we're focused on value and crypto value. If you get distracted by drama, you can often miss the value, and then you go, oh my gosh, I'm so focused on all the drama, I forgot to think about my portfolio, and I'm wrecked. I've got myself wrecked. That's why we try to focus just on the crypto and the value on this channel, because that's the thing. We also like community, right? So that's why we have a cool community, but we try to keep the drama out of it. Hey, go watch a sitcom, man. Go watch a sitcom. Go to Twitter. That's where all the drama is, on Twitter. If you go to Twitter, the drama's there. They're very different platforms, right? Like, depending on how you do. Now, obviously, Discord's kind of like, it's far more controllable and far more, just more intimate in terms of community there. People can all have their voice, and I like that. It's not so easy on Twitter Spaces, for example. You got to get up, put your hand up and get chosen to speak. And then that's the intermittency is really bad. You can break in and out, all this sort of stuff. Whereas on Discord, the audio is really generally pretty good, unless that source you got some issues. But there's been some really nice conversations happening on our Discord with people, and it's the community that's running them, which is very, very exciting. Yesterday we had Brazolgi in talking about his NFT artwork and stuff like that. People were talking about social stuff, crypto stuff, whatever they want to talk about. It's pretty neat. 2.681 cents is on the held Hex there, looking pretty nice. PSI says Democrats lol. Hell no, man. Those guys, I won't get into the politics, but you know what I think about them. Superman 100% right, says KD. Andrew Reynolds says beach is tempting for Pulse launch. Yeah. Might take the day off work, says Andrew. Yep. Imagine Crypto Coffee. He might be out on the beach there since Briz. Remember we had Briz on the beach. Maybe Crypto Coffee gets out there and he's doing shows on the beach, spreading the word around Pulsechain. He might do that. I know that Crypto Coffee seems to always pop up at the boat events, you know, in Florida and places. He's always on the boat. Have you noticed that? Every boat event, he seems to be on it. He seems to be on it. I've noticed that. he's like the summer guy, and the summer guy there, living the dream. Well, BTC at the moment is at 23,200. And of course, we've got the Hex there moving up to 2.681. Very nice, everybody. Those gas prices, though, have been on the high side. Let me have a quick look, see what they are at. Oh, no, they're down. They've moved down to 20 Gwei. So the price is pumping, but the Gwei is still, it's pulled back a bit there, 20 Gwei, which is nice. 20 Gwei is still too high, but it's better than 30 or 40 Gwei, which it was earlier. So very cool on that one. All right, who else is in the house here? Lamy says, Hex Token, put the weekly chart up, please. Bullish as. Okay, weekly chart for Hex. Let's do that. Bam. There's the weekly chart there. I don't have the full data on this one. It only goes to May 21, but that is the full data there. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah. Imagine if when we get the crossover here on the 9-month crossover over the 21-month crossover game on, right, on the weekly there. That's pretty cool. Looking good. That's what the monthly look. That's the monthly, so not enough data on this chart for that, unfortunately. This is the moving on there. So that is looking pretty good on the weekly. And 3 of the last 4 weeks have been green. Isn't that cool? That's pretty neat there. We want to get this cross, though. This crossover is really important, getting this cross. So we need a nice little green pump here, another week, another 2 weeks maybe. And maybe by mid-February, we could have a really bullish cross here on the short-term on the signals. That'd be pretty neat. But we do have a cross, a second wave cross here on the daily. And it looks like this might separate onwards and upwards. 2.8 to 3.1, though. We've got to break it. We've got to break it. We get rejected at 2.8 cents again. That would be great. But I think we've got all the right momentum at the moment. It's certainly looking good. What's up, folks? Hey, Brian, made it. Hey, good to see Brian. Lamb says bullish engulfing candle. Genuine says watching today from snowy mountains. Very peaceful watching over mountain lakes. Oh, that sounds so good. Hashtag jealous there, Genuine. That does sound very lovely indeed. So strong, says Lammy on the weekly there. PSI, I think Superman needs to do a pole dance to put Richard Hart to shame on Pulsechain launch. That says PSI. That's funny. We're a family show. We try to keep a family show there, PSI. Property Review says good show. Hey, Property Review, appreciate it. Big shout out to you. And I should probably Review. I do watch your channel. It's doing very well, your channel. So big shout out to you. I do like your content there. Genuine says, please don't do that bum dance thing. It's gross, says Genuine. Yeah, we're a family chance. We're a family channel, Genuine. That's not going to be happening. It's not going to be happening. Even if we were in a family channel, it wouldn't be happening. Wouldn't be happening there. All right, so cool. We got everything is rallying at the moment during this the back end of this live stream. We got get that back in. It was a pun. But we got $23,269 on a Bitcoin. It is starting to move. We had yesterday's candle look very good. Look at that. Yesterday's candle, we're up to 23,824 on Bitcoin. Sold back down, but now we're back on the up again. Going to test new highs here. And we know what happens in Bitcoin, right? We can get a quick $2,000 move in a moment, in a couple, like an hour or something. That can happen pretty fast. So we're going to try and tackle this $25,000 mark. That's up here. So we're going to tackle that. Could happen very quickly in the blink of an eye. Welcome to crypto. Stock market. So I do stock market because we're really focusing on the giving a sense of correlation, but also the financial markets, what the interest rates are doing. That's kind of the key part there. 2.68 cents at the moment on Hex. We're going to get some. Is this the beginning? Are we going to even more bullish move today? Bust through that. Man, if we can get through to 3.1 today, that'd be very nice. Very nice. That'd be great. Let's see how we go. Maybe it's tomorrow. All right. So how are we doing? An hour and 25. Man, I've kept the live show on because we've got this price chart pumping. It's not every moment that you have that going on. Cape Figure says, gonna cook me a Thai curry. Thanks, man. Love and respect as always, a friend. Good night or a night to you, Cape Figure. Night indeed. Hexforce 1 has landed. I'm late. We'll catch up later. Hey, Superman. Hey, Hexforce 1. Pleasure. Hope you guys enjoying the price chart too. Very, very exciting. All right, we might wrap it up. Let's play out some fun music on the way out here. What do we got here? We got it's wrap. Or don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all the good stuff. If you want to get into talk about the price chart with crypto and everything else, get into our Discord. Link is in the video description. Maybe one of the moderators might post it in the chat as well. Get in there and get chatting away. It's what it's all about, either by text or by audio. And sorry, by comment chat or by audio. And of course, enjoy the price pump. Bitcoin and Hex are both on the move. It's can't do much better than that, right? January has been a pretty cool window of opportunity. Bring it on. And may the CPI on Friday be low, and may this all continue into the 1st of February there with the Fed rate hike being nice and dovish. And that's what we're looking forward to. That's the holy grail run right there. All right, take care, everybody. I'll play out some music on the way out. And don't forget, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Catch you next time. Bye for now.
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.
Well, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. And occasionally I think back to that twerk, Richard Hart bringing his game. Well, I didn't make the sacrifice 'cause I came too late, but day one I'm still making it rain. Oh, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. Won't be long before I'm going to bed wearing a Rolex. There's so much to love about it, I can't pick my favorite. It's almost better than sex. Well, oh, I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your Hex. Might as well start with 5, a financial suplex. Generational wealth is just a click away. It's a Nobel Prize worthy flex. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your Hex. A financial suplex, a Nobel Prize worthy flex. You better stake your Hex.